Bum, 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 bum. Come on, guys.
You shouldn't be that excited after your performance against
It's not
Germany.
about the
Come on.
performance.
Come on.
It's got nothing to do about the performance. They're looking
Take
good.
that
They're
background,
looking good.
take that background down, man. Come on.
The man scored again. He scored again,
Yeah.
dude. You can't stop him. You can't stop him. Look, obviously,
I don't think
Germans did
Ronaldo's
stop
the
him.
problem here. I don't think anybody's saying Ronaldo has a problem. It's the rest of the side who are kind of dropping balls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong there. But if we're looking into it, I mean, Portugal's still sitting in that third spot there, and they haven't even tried. So let's be honest. They got thrashed, and they're still sitting comfortably. So I'm okay. I'm ready. I'm going. Anyway, that's how I am. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Come on, Scotland. Scotland have to pull a result here. England are through already. So yeah, I'm rooting for Scotland tonight. Hopefully they can pull something through. Sorry, Matt, before you tell us how you are, I think we need to wish Pums a happy birthday. It was yesterday.
What?
Goalloungetv.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
it was his
man.
birthday.
Hey, happy
the big
man.
Yeah,
that's amazing, dude. How old is Pums now, Nick?
I stand to be corrected, but I think he's 31. I hope he
big
doesn't
3-1.
I think he was a year older than me.
Because 30, you're just 30. 31,
Yeah.
now you're in your 30s. You know, like you.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. You can't even lean back and touch your 20s. You're done.
That's brilliant.
We've also got Plums, who's obviously got birthday celebrations coming from the Goal Lounge crew. We've also got Louis Murray, who's back. He's actually leading our Super Brew log as well. So, I mean, we've got some diehard fans with us, guys. So please,
some VIPs.
Let's not disappoint them. Yeah, some VVIPs.
VVIPs.
VVIPs. Maddie, how are you doing? You didn't share with us.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, look, the Scotland game was disappointing, but I understand. I think it had to go that way just to avoid civil war in the Stothard house. So I get it. I didn't want you to have to pick sides. But yeah, it was a frustrating game to watch. I think England didn't play their best, and I think it left a lot of questions. But we've qualified. We're in the next round, so let's see what that means. Obviously, tonight's a big one, and it could be. In a way, you kind of wonder, should England play for a draw and go a potentially easier route? But that can also trip you up. Lineker said it on Twitter today, play to win. Winning is a habit. You got to build that momentum. You got to win games. And he made a very good point. If you don't think you can beat Portugal or France or Germany, then what are you doing here? You got to have to beat them at some point. You want to win the thing. So I think I'm going to go into it and support the team. Hopefully we win the game, have a great day out. I'm really keen to see Grealish from the start. I think he's got a lot to offer. I'm really excited to see him on the field. I would have liked to see him and Foden on at the same time. I just think Foden's intensity, what he brings to the game, and what we saw, the dip in intensity when he went off, I would have liked to see him starting today as well alongside Grealish. But it can be a fun game. And Euros are fun.
Have they announced the lineup?
There's a leak. It looks, like last time. It looks so Grealish is on and Saka is starting.
Oh, really?
Apparently,
okay.
Maguire and Walker both in as well, according to the thing. Nope, no Sancho.
I would have personally liked to have seen Grealish and Sancho in the same lineup and Foden. But yeah, we'll see what they do. But yeah, I agree with you. From an England perspective, I think Matt, you would agree with me. I would, regardless of wanting to win anything or win all your games. I'd rather play against a team from Slovakia, Sweden, even Spain right now, rather than any of those two teams or three teams from the other group. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar performance to the Scotland game. Conservative. To be honest with you, I'd had a chat with a mate who's also an England fan, and he used a different word, but he said Gareth Southgate's a coward, for lack of better words. And you can imagine what word he used. But yeah, he is a little bit pragmatic. And will it win him the tournament? I don't know. Pragmatic managers have won this tournament before, so yeah, let's see.
He does seem to approach every game as a single game. You think about his approach in the Croatia match. Everybody had question marks about the starting 11, but ultimately it got the result, and he seemed to have got what he wanted there. Even in the Scotland game, if a few things had gone his way, if Stones had put that header away, if Kane had been able to get on the end of that one cross a bit more meaningfully, it could have gone England's way there. So, Southgate, he doesn't make every decision. I mean, Arjun's put it there. That's maybe
that's the word. That's the word my mate used.
Oh, really? He used the same word. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We've been Arjun. Arjun's been chatting to your mate.
And we haven't had that word in the show for quite a while. I thought we might lose that explicit tag, but now we've got it there.
Also, guys, we got sorry, Matt. I just want to say we got Aman who's joining us. Obviously, Arjun, Dia, they're back. The usual suspects are back, and obviously, thank you very much, Pums. I'm glad you're here with the post celebration. You must let us know how that hangover is doing. Let's hope it's not as bad as the England hangover after the Croatia game. But yeah, as you were, Matt.
Well, I mean, talking about teams with hangovers, I mean, you're very positive about Portugal given how it went. I mean, England had a pretty rough day at the office against Scotland, but I wasn't worried about that the next day, after seeing how Portugal did. I mean, as a Portuguese fan myself, it upsets me because I always think England might not go very far, but I've got this fallback, this safety net of being able to support Portugal because by virtue of my marriage. And then they go and do that to me. I'm just sort of like, well, what am I going to do now?
I don't know. I think like years of being a Portuguese fan, it's an interesting one. I've mentioned this in the past, but we've had some of the best teams ever, just like England have had, and those are the ones that obviously too much expectation and they just never did anything. And the one that they did land up winning was the one where we arguably had our crappiest team in years and they didn't even win a game in 90 minutes and they ended up winning the tournament. So when you get thumped 4-2, you're just going, look, if you're going to play big games in the tournament, I'd rather be losing to Germany now and playing, playing France and getting those games out of the way. And then when you get into the knockout stages, you're ready. You know what I mean? Because after you've had a bit of that defeat.
Yeah.
Whereas England right now playing a Scotland and just trying to get through. And possibly tonight, like you said, Nick, they're probably going to go out there and play for the draw because that's what they need tonight.
Yeah. That's what they need to finish second and arguably the best sort of route to the final as well. So it would be, I don't know, it would be interesting to see what the England fans' reaction will be if it's a dull 1-1 0-0 draw. They do finish second, the Czech Republic end up playing against a France or a Germany, and then you end up having England having an easier route. You've seen these tournaments go this way, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a bit hard.
Sorry, Matt. I just want to touch on that. I mean, taking Portugal to the cleaners. So my prediction is if Portugal do lose, I've actually predicted Portugal for a loss in this game, but I'm saying a 2-1 loss, and even that is enough to get them through. So to the cleaners, if that happens, then maybe I'll start shitting my bricks, and I will have to get my underpants cleaned, I think.
But I think from this, what we can take from the Euros and sort of understand where I'm coming from. I've had a lot of arguments with other football people who think otherwise and very sort of patriotic towards England, and sort of suggesting that England were all over Scotland is false. Scotland had a game plan. Scotland had a lot of chances. Scotland created their own chances where they could have made it difficult for England. But to sort of suggest that there's clear favourites, I don't think there really is, because we're talking about France taking teams to the cleaners, as Pums would say. It's not a foregone conclusion. Them getting held up against a Hungary team. Teams are going to falter along the way. So, maybe Southgate's approach might work. Taking each game as it comes. Each game has its own objective, and each game has its own solution required. So, I think Portugal might find themselves in a similar position where they're taking each game as it comes. Get through to the next stage, and whoever they get, and you find yourselves in a quarterfinal. You get yourself into a quarterfinal after the last 16. You 2 games away from a final, and anything can happen in a final. You literally have to win 2 games.
Well, yeah. If Portugal do manage to somehow get through, even if they do lose to France and they come in third, the likelihood is that they'll play Belgium in the next round. So that's an interesting one into the point. So again, if they make it through that, then I don't see like anything stopping them. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I'd rather watch them play against France, Germany, and Belgium in a major tournament and get knocked out than watch them play against the smaller sides, play conservatively, and then play one game and then lose to Portugal in a penalty shootout like England normally do when they do face Portugal. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, look, if we look at it now, you are right, Nick. Hey, Moss has arrived. just in time.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey.
I missed you guys.
But I like how even when you arrived, you looked almost guilty, like, oh, they won't notice that I've just got here now.
But you know what?
I'll just hide in the back over here.
Do you know what's quite notable? The team photo for Wales. I don't know if you've seen if they've taken the Mickey out of this whole thing, but they've all of their team photos are like different sort of shapes. So this last game, they had 4 behind. I think they had 3 to the one side. Then they had 1 standing up and the rest in front. So I don't know if that's Gareth Bale orchestrating. Let's just take the piss out of this whole situation.
Yeah, a little bit of team photo shithousery there.
So even in this one, this was the best one I could find, right? Where it looks at least somewhat structured, but it's literally just 4 gents and the rest are all in front.
But what's even more notable, Mosse, is that you haven't changed it to a France background there, because your champions, your self-proclaimed champions, fell at the second hurdle there.
Nick, but they're not through
breaking
yet.
my heart.
They're not through yet, though. And Wales are through to round 16. But yeah, to that point, answer that hard question there, Mossa. The man,
Thanks,
the biggest
Klaus. That's why you still have the Portugal one, huh? Gotta keep that Portuguese background going, champ.
Oh man.
No, I thought you were gonna answer the question. You're not answering the question. You just diverted. That's all you did. I mean, let's talk about that. Hungary won, France won. That was a huge upset of the tournament so far.
A huge disappointing upset. It was unexpected. After France came out of that first game, you'd think, yep, the tournament's begun for them. The boys are focused. They seem to be in the right swing of things. They seem to be in the right zone. All the players are going to come to the party and come with the tournament football approach. And then to hold out to Hungary is very, very disappointing, to say the least. But it does still make us realize that it is a tournament, and no matter who any of these teams play, and no matter how they've fared in terms of their world rankings, in terms of their form, it can get dismantled pretty quickly. And France are in that position now. Potentially they can qualify as one of the top 4s if they do falter again. But it just really does give us an opportunity for them to get humbled and allow all the other teams to realize that, no matter who they are playing against, they can always have a sniff at it and try and take on the bigger horses, given that it's just a one game type of wonder and then you're moving on. So
the interesting thing with the group of death is, after the first round of fixtures, we were all saying, oh, Germany, they're going to have it tough, But now you look at it going into the last round of fixtures in the group stages, Germany are actually looking pretty good, because you'd expect them to get a result against Hungary. As much as, and I think Hungary really, really took advantage of that home advantage. The crowd were right behind them. It was a very hot day. The conditions were in their favor, but they took full advantage. They really pushed France to the limit. But I think, Germany now, they're in kind of the driving seats. You'd expect them they'll go out, be very kind of structured, and much like they were against Portugal. They didn't play. I didn't think they played like a team that was going to score 4 goals against Portugal, but they took their chances. Portugal took a couple for them, which was very giving. I thought, in the spirit of tournament football, let's share the goals.
Sorry, Matt, did you see that meme going around? It's like someone says, I don't know much about football, but how do you score 4 goals and still end up losing?
Exactly. It was, but I think that Germany were very businesslike about it. The chances that fell their way, they took advantage of. They got the job done where they needed to, and even they showed that even on your good days, you can't turn off Ronaldo. He's gonna make something happen. I think that's for me where the interesting thing comes. I think Germany are in a good position to top the group. If France and Portugal cancel one another out and play to a draw, Germany are going to be sitting on 6 points. They'll be top in the group, which I don't think any of us would have called after the first round of fixtures. I don't think that would have been our assumption.
Are we writing Hungary off? Hungary have a chance of getting
through. But yeah, that's the thing. No, it's not wrong. And that's your team
at all.
That's your team.
I'm writing them off, man. You can't have a Hungary going through.
I don't think lightning strikes twice. I think they had their big game against France. I think it's at the business end of things now. I think Germany are going to take it very seriously. And I think I think Hungary will fight. And the difference is also Germany are forewarned now. They saw what they did to France. They saw how they played, how they approached it, how they were very tight at the back, how they kind of, they created those two banks of defenders and midfielders and really kind of cut down the space. Germany will go into the game aware that that's going to happen. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how those last round of fixtures go in that group, because I think that's a big. We always said when we were talking about this before the tournament, that was the group that was going to show us the winner. Obviously, none of us at that point expected Italy to be on the kind of form that they've shown to be in, because they're obviously we talk about sides that are performing. You look across the tournament, no one's playing as well as Italy at the moment.
And what's scary is when Italy do this in a tournament, you can't stop them. They normally get to a final.
They kind of got this tournament mentality.
Yeah. I've noticed with Italy, they're always in a final. If they're not in a final, they go out in the group stages. Like, that's the sort of team they are. They
like
always
a
find a way.
outing. Yeah,
it's like generations. Every 4 years or so, they have to get rid of a few players.
They've had like a horrid time in international football of late. So
they're due a turn of good fortune. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
guys, just on the Portugal front. Sorry, Musa, I just want to ask the question. I mean, I know I'm coming in here.
I think we lost him.
He's coming in hot. You guys coming in hot. Yeah, he's still
he's here. He's sitting incredibly still.
And he's smiling. He's got this like awkward smile on his face.
Yeah.
But you're right though. I think I still firmly believe that there's gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if a winner of this tournament is someone completely new. I think in England still have a chance. I think Wales are a dark horse. I think once last time they got out the group, I think they got out the group with the same amount of points. They ended up going all the way to the semi-finals. So, ultimately, go for it.
Yeah, and also Belgium, can't write them off either. They're also looking pretty good.
Oh, Belgium. I mean, I thought, at one stage last night, I didn't think they would get through against Finland. Was it Finland? Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing.
They ended up just absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Belgium is I've watched a couple of their games. Just the timing has just worked out that way, and you can see that they've gotten results, but at the same time, you also feel like they haven't quite yet hit their straps. That it constantly feels like there's more to come. And I think the key thing will be if they find that, if they're able to unlock that extra gear during the knockouts, then they could end up also having a big influence on the tournament.
Yeah, 100%.
Strangely enough, I feel like we've been saying this about Belgium for a long time now. About them always looking very good in qualifications, they're looking very strong, and then coming into the tournament, they never actually hit in the fifth gear and actually come guns blazing into the tournament. And it seems like it's happening again.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of pressure on them now. This is their golden generation. They're number one ranked. With a lot of people expected big things, and there is a big expectation on them being able to take that next step. And this is probably their last chance. Those players that define that golden generation are probably not going to be. A lot of them won't be around in the next tournaments, and some of them are going to be a lot less influential. So I think this is a big test for them.
Yeah, I think. Claudio, go for it.
No. I was just saying, if we can go by history, any golden generation seems to struggle, from England to Portugal to all the rest of them. So, and with Roberto Martinez there, I don't see Belgium doing anything, to be quite honest. It's tough. They just buckle.
They've got Thierry Henry there, man. Thierry Henry there with Vavavoom.
The Vavavoom struggled in the MLS.
Yeah, he did. To be fair, but Musa,
at that point he was pretty old, wasn't he?
No. He's talking about when he coached. He coached.
I see.
Who did he coach?
I was in the New York. Wasn't it Red Bull New York or something?
No. He played for Red Bull.
He played there.
Oh, he played for them. All right.
He played there.
He coached Toronto or something. One of the
Toronto,
Canadian
Vancouver Whitecaps, I think.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
But Musa, tell us about Wales and how they did in their group, their chances of going through.
Very, very happy with this dark horse team. I think, going into a game against Italy, before that, I was thinking, maybe Italy will try out a few different options and give Wales an opportunity to maybe get something from the game. Italy did try out a few different options, but it was difficult to get something against that Italy squad. And that, I guess, speaks to how good that Italy squad is at the moment. They could chop and change 3 or 4 players, and it looks as if they'd still get their results along this tournament. Wales, though, I think have been excellent. Even against Italy, they did make that outing very, very difficult for Italy. And I think them facing Italy as they're about to head out of the group is a very, very good precursor for them. It gives them a nice opportunity to know exactly how the rest of the tournament will look like in terms of the types of team that they're going to face. I think, who do they have in the next round?
It's Netherlands, isn't it?
Netherlands.
No.
No.
Wales,
yes, it's Netherlands.
No, I think Wales Austria are confirmed. Italy are playing Austria, and I think it's
Austria.
Wales.
Yeah, Wales, Netherlands.
Netherlands. Yeah, it is.
Saturday, 6 p.m.
No, Denmark, sorry.
No, it's Denmark.
Denmark.
It's Denmark.
Denmark.
They're close to each other. They're close to each other on the map, but it's,
So against Denmark, that makes it interesting, right? That makes it like literally, it's not as difficult as Netherlands. It's actually, it must be very exciting for the gents.
Yeah, but I think Denmark have got some momentum now, hey? Like after that game against Russia and
then you go and smash it in Russia like that, and
the story arc is with them, man. I think that Wales are going to need more than creative team photos to get through this one. It's going to be.
But I think that's excited. I think that's interesting, though, with regards to Wales. I was listening to Mark Hughes the other day, and he was just sort of suggesting that, like you said, Musa, like matching yourself up against Italy, and they played really well, from what I understand. I didn't watch a game, but I saw the highlights. They created their own chances. They also went down to 10 men, to be fair. And I think
for
Italy
a dubious
only,
red card.
Yeah, a dubious red card. And I think Italy only made 2 or 3 changes, if I'm not mistaken. So I think from that perspective, it is a good measuring stick in terms of trying to see how far they can potentially go. And, they do have the likes of Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey to sort of, create that sort of hype and leadership within the squad. And, you look at Denmark. Yes, Matt, you're right. I wouldn't want to play Denmark that's maybe running on this wave of momentum, but you'd rather play I think you'd rather play Denmark. If you had to choose between some of the teams in the top 16, I think you would take a Denmark. You would take a bit of Denmark. They have been beaten twice already. Or in Austria, So, you guys were fortunate in terms of Italy and Wales, who they drew, in terms of their group standings matching up with each other. But ultimately, I think they're a dark horse that could potentially do something special.
I'd like to agree with Arjun there, saying that Dan James is a GOAT, but I do not share the same sentiment. I think, he is a team player. He does give a lot of energy, but I'm impressed with Ramsey and Bale, to be honest, at this point in time. They look in the part. They're looking up for this tournament. They have some good combination play between them. Alan behind them is actually covering up and doing his job as well pretty well. So, yeah, man, I did look at this team at the beginning of the tournament saying they are my dark horses. Now I'm really convinced that these guys do have something within their camp that can actually push them even out of this round of 16, which I'm excited to watch.
Woo!
And also,
that's a big one. I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm like,
the boys are the dark horses. They're the dark horses, my man.
I just see Bale every time he walks out there. I'm like, this guy, he's playing for his country, but he's not taking this tournament seriously every single time. Even when he walks out the tunnel, it's like he's like, this man's not serious. Hey,
did you see what he said? He came out in his press conference in the last day or so, and he had said to the reporter, I know where Sergio Ramos is playing next season. And they said, oh, wow, do you have some inside news? Where's he playing? And he says, he's playing centre-back.
Sorry, Nick. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? St. James Park. It's like, it has so many fans. I could hear them 5 kilometers away from my hotel. But I don't know which team that stadium is of, though.
That's quality. Is she being sarcastic?
I don't think she is. You know, I think you need to educate. You need to tell her how happy you are to hear this.
Yeah, they wear
Break
black
his
and
heart.
white.
Break his heart.
They wear black and white. They look like they went to prison. Yeah, but thanks, Tia. I appreciate it. It's a very nice stadium. I assume that Ocean's given you a bit of insider information there for you to get involved in the chat. But yeah, Gareth Bale essentially said that he knows where Ramos is going to be playing, and his response was centre back. Which was quite funny. He's going to be
he's having it too easy there, man.
He's enjoying. He's enjoying his. It's his summer holidays, man. He needs to.
Wouldn't you have fun? I mean, I think that's it. You know, he's living that boyhood dream, man. Like, imagine being able to go all the way there and then still laugh about it. I think because he'll look back on it and think, "Oh, I should have enjoyed it more," and at least you won't have that, you know. And and maybe part of it comes from the fact that Wales don't have that pressure that a lot of other sides do. You know, there aren't Welsh fans saying we have to win this. It's whatever. So I think that's maybe part of it. And talking about Welsh players doing well, there's another Spurs boy at the centre of defence, Joe Rodon. Yeah, he's been solid for Wales. I mean, he didn't get a lot of game time at Spurs this season, and I'm watching him for Wales. And I'm thinking, why not? You know, he should have played a lot more for us. He's really solid. He's got really good decision making. His positional awareness is amazing. He's cutting off crosses and getting in the way of key passes really well. I think that's a big factor for a side like Wales, who you know are going to struggle to score loads of goals, especially against the big sides. If they can be tight at the back, it makes a huge difference. So
it gives them an opportunity to come into a game thinking that yes, they might have something here, they might have an option or a chance to actually get a point or two from the game, and it really does change the climate of the game once you are looking at a game and thinking, are we just looking to get out of the group? Is it really as significant as other teams that have to look at getting out of the group? Other teams come with that pressure to think, if they're at this tournament, the minimum they can do is get out of the group. Whereas Wales have done that, and if they do more from here, everybody is happy. If they don't do more from there, it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's a bonus from here. So
I think
they'll be.
Did you guys see that joke that he had mentioned about Stoke City? I thought that was brilliant. I think maybe really you quoted there, Matty.
Yeah, so he was asked in an interview. Apparently, Roberto Mancini compared Wales to Stoke. I think he was asked how to rank. You know, how would you see the Wales side? He said compared to the Stoke.
He says they're like hard to play against.
So Gareth Bale was asked about this. So what do you hear about comparing Wales to Stoke? Very hard to break down, whatever. And then Bale said, I never knew Stoke were that good. You know, that was very cool.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Yeah, he's.
But Claudio, tell me, you need to tell us about your dark horse, Finland. They got a chance. They've got a chance.
They're out, bro.
They're not. They're out.
They're out.
They're third.
No, guys, they're out. Those guys last night. Let me tell you, last night was It was a mad 5 minutes of football if ever I've seen it. I'm looking at my Super Brew, by the way, Louis, which is you're absolutely creaming it. But I'm looking at my Super Brew and I'm going, you know, I actually predicted a 1-0 victory for Belgium and I predicted a 3-1 victory for Denmark, believe it or not. So, I mean, I was on the money for those predictions, but it was 0-0. It was 0-0. And at that moment in time, Finland were finishing second in their group. They were flying. They were going so high. And then all of a sudden, Denmark turned up the heat, smashed in some killer strikes. We've got freaking Christensen hitting a bullet. An absolute, I don't know, did you guys see that bullet? That thing was coming out there.
Yeah.
Whoa. I was watching, that all happened within 5 minutes. And I was like, well, there goes Finland. Just like that. Gone. Poof. Goodbye.
But Claudio, they're currently fourth on that log.
I mean, yeah, they're there. But
but then there's still so many more games to play.
They need Spain and Croatia. They need Spain to lose and Croatia to draw.
Spain aren't winning, guys. Spain are not winning.
Who is Spain
They're not
playing?
beating Slovakia. Slovakia.
Martin
wow,
Dubravka.
that's a big statement, bro.
Yeah. But go tell us about your Finns.
He's sitting very, very still again.
Yeah, he's frozen. but I'll tell you what. Imagine winning your first game in the way you did against the situation that you were playing against with Christian Eriksen and Denmark. You got this hype. You more than likely only need 1 point because it looks like 4 points is going to be enough to get you through. And
they couldn't pull that off.
They can't get that point. They can't get that 1 point. But for me, the biggest surprise is this Russian team and how they've pretty much had a home tournament. and they've been horrible to watch. Terrible results. I think they've had 2 home games and 1 away. I think they played in Copenhagen against Denmark, and it's a little bit disappointing from that end, especially after the World Cup they hosted, and they were really good in the World Cup. I thought they got to a quarterfinal, went out unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, I thought they would have been one of the candidates to go through.
Yeah, I think they should have also been looking at the situation that happened with the first game with Finland, Denmark, and been thinking there's an opportunity for them to kind of, the cat's among the pigeons now. They could maybe make something happen. But the truth is, I mean, in many ways, the World Cup was a bit of a positive blip for them. They've actually been on a bit of a decline for probably 10 years. You can think about Russia about 10 years ago. They had a serious collection.
Euro 2008, I think. Euro 2008, they were really solid. They got to the semi-final. Yeah, that's when Arshavin popped on the scene.
Because Hiddink was manager, and Roman Abramovich was trying to flip the Russian football on its head. Spending some money in Russia. Then they realized it doesn't matter how much money they spend in Russia. It's just far too cold, and for other reasons, other sort of players don't want to go there. I'm not going to say for social reasons, but we know why. And then they realized,
well, you did. You just said it.
Indirectly. And rolled off the tongue. And then they were like, well, screw this. We're just going to enjoy ourselves when you go to tournaments and give everyone our vodka and make money and boost the economy that way. I think that's what they're doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, non-football discussion.
Russia feel like Turkey to me. What the heck has gone wrong with the Turkish squad?
Can we just go back to this Turkey thing with Arjun saying they're going to go all the way? I don't know where he was smoking his socks there, but he honestly,
a lot of people fell for that. I feel like there was some sort of, like when people lie about certain stocks to try to drive up the price in the stock market. I feel like something like that has happened with Turkey. We don't know what it is. Probably betting odds or something. There's some sort of conspiracy. People like back Turkey. They're a solid dark horse. And people don't know. Like, how many times did you watch Turkey play before this tournament? I'll put my hand up. I didn't see them play. So people telling me they're dark horses, I'm like, okay, cool. If you say so, that's an interesting thought. But then you watch them on the field and you're like, these guys. Like, the horse is so dark. That's basically what you've got is a donkey at the back of the room. It's not a dark horse.
It's so dark, you can't see itself. But it's, I think the last time I watched him was in like 2002 when they got to the semi-finals of the World Cup. I think that was the last time I watched Turkey. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Matt.
Okay. We've touched on Group A, obviously Italy's group, Wales. We've touched on Group B, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Russia. Group C, guys, Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, and North Macedonia. Obviously, North Macedonia coming in here for the first time, no chance. But they showed up, which was good enough for them. But the Netherlands' performance with a poor manager. How long does this run last, guys? How long does it last?
And they look decent, eh? They look decent.
But it's against North Macedonia, man. Like, the boys were just having a field day.
But the guys
too nice for them.
They got 9 points.
You can only play who's in front of you.
They got 9 points. They got 9 points. How many points do France have? I'm just asking. And how many can they get?
No, they're talking about this group, man. Leave my team alone.
Look, guys,
it's having a great time right now.
But I just want to put this based on my predictions, guys. This is how the sort of round 16 is going to look like. We've got Wales, we've got Denmark, and we've got Italy and Australia. Those are confirmed. But when I put in my predictions,
Australia, they're not in Europe. There was a fact check. There was a commission sent. They got there and they were like, "This isn't Europe at all. You guys are not coming."
Guys,
bought too much kit, so they let Wales use it as their away kit.
The worst part about all of this. The worst part about all of this, I got a distinction for geography. I mean,
they must have just been giving those away.
If Australia are there, surely South Africa's somewhere there. Bafana,
got a chance, my man.
You've got a chance.
Now you're playing games, boys. Come on, let's be honest. Australia and South Africa are like literally two different continents, and then we were looking at rankings. The rankings are so far. There's a reason they're on two different continents. But anyway, just going to go back to what I was trying to say with regards to the prediction that I've made, right? So the round 16, Wales, Denmark, Italy, Austria. Okay, we clarified that one.
Very good.
Then Netherlands. We're talking about Netherlands. So as things stand for winning their group, and I've got a feeling Scotland are going to sneak in. So the likelihood is that Netherlands will play Scotland, which isn't a bad one for Netherlands when we're looking at progression. I mean, Nick might have something to say there.
Wait,
they drew in a friendly, eh?
Did they?
Friendly. Yeah, just before Euros. They drew in a friendly,
Wales,
guys. Just before the Euros.
Scotland drew a friendly. Turkey are dark horses, and other things people say.
Add that to the list. So, like, Netherlands have the potential of facing the third place from Group D, E, and F. No.
Yeah, but guys, can you, sorry, before you carry on, please explain that, because I can't wrap my head around it. There's like A, D, E, G, Z, and then
is it based on the order in the mini table?
What is it? Is it in the order?
Is it the order of the table? I don't know.
What do you guys
should find this out? We trade facts, guys.
D, E, F. All right. So how it works is, okay, if we're looking at it, we've got the group A to F. I can actually try and pull this up on my screen, but my internet's a bit wonky right now. Okay, you guys keep talking. Let me try and put it up already.
Yeah.
My understanding is that.
Oh wait, no. So this is it. So group A to F, the third place standings. There's a mini log from 1 to 6. So all these guys, it's a separate log. All the groups are together, obviously in your four teams. And then there's the third place log based on the goals scored and the goals conceded and the points gained. And within that log, that's how it's worked out. So Netherlands will play one of those options. They'll play, I think it's because they finished really well, 9 points. They'll play the third or fourth place, depending on how that outcome is resolved. And that's why they say.
But also, it also works out that you don't play someone from your group, which is a given. So there's only 5 options. But also in your side of the draw, a team from your group. So it always works out like this. You'll never play a team in your group unless it's the final.
And so the semis, isn't it?
Is it the semis with this format? I know with the normal eight group format.
I don't know, actually.
That's why I was very confused, because normally you enter different sides of the draw. So I know they won't obviously play the team in there who finished third in their group, but yeah, it is quite confusing, and there's obviously
how many top 3 teams do they take? 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
So potentially then they split it's 8 groups that we've got, right?
Yep.
Or 6 groups.
6 groups.
6 groups.
6 groups. Okay, then. They split it. Can you see my fingers? They go.
This is some technical analysis here, boys.
It's some calculus, differential calculus.
I'm just remembering last week someone asked in this group what the second law of mechanics is, and they expected this group of people to answer that.
So what happens is, if you follow my fingers, the top 3 will be Group A, B, C. They'll play against the top 2 qualifiers in Group D, E, F, and then
your fingers have gone off the screen. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Now they're already playing the top 2.
Can I just say the man's watched a lot of Zoolander. He's trying to get a hand modeled gig. Yeah, this is what's going on. No one needs stats and darts anymore. We're going back to our fingers. That's how we got fingers.
You mentioned that at halftime. We're now going to go over to Mosso, who's got the fingers at the window there, and like he can be like permutations.
I was actually trying to help you guys. You know what? I was trying to help you guys, but I guess you don't need my help.
Yeah, forget the help. Okay, so my prediction. My prediction, okay, so it would be Netherlands, Scotland. Okay, the next fixture, which is quite an enticing one, is Belgium, Portugal, given that France beats Portugal, okay? Then the other one is England, Slovakia. The other one is England, Slovakia. Then the next one, France, Switzerland.
Are you basing that on England winning the group? No, then they second. You're basing it on them drawing tonight.
On a draw. Yeah,
okay,
on a draw.
Okay.
Then France, Switzerland, Czech versus Germany, and then Sweden, Ukraine, which seems like a delightful one for Sweden.
For both teams. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where my predictions have led me. So out of that, I'm looking at Italy having a good run here. And then Belgium's going to be tricky. Netherlands possibly. You know, we might have a bit of a... You talk about those dark horses, Matt, that you're talking about. Who is the real dark horse of the tournament?
It's too late now.
Why?
You can't have a dark horse halfway through.
No, you can, because still people are still saying France are favorites.
No, but like
donkeys also have legs.
Dark horses, yeah. Oh man.
Okay, so we're not answering that question. Let me just say this.
Definitely the team behind me right now. That's a definite dark horse at the moment.
Does anyone else buy that?
Wales. I don't know. I think it could potentially be Denmark because after their first 2 games.
There we go. Now we're talking, Matt. Now you see, now the dark horse.
So now we got 2 dark horses coming against each other. But a clash of dark horses. We need to dim the lights. Allow them into the what do you call a paddock? Sort of a paddock battle.
I'm ready, Arjun.
Let them into the pit, so they can kill each other.
That could be funny because also Gareth Bale, he's got now that he's got that long hair and he's got a very long face, he's got a certain equineness to him. I reckon you could meme that.
Oh wow!
It's called Gareth Bale horse.
Guys, apart from that, apart from him being a horse, I mean, I'd rather be called a horse than a donkey. I've been called that before. Anyway, so guys, Portugal. Going to Portugal. I'm watching this Germany game play out, and I'm looking at Bruno Fernandes and I'm looking at Ronaldo. Should both players be playing for Portugal or starting?
You mean like one of them could go help Spain out or what?
I mean, you could try that. But no. You never help your enemy. But what I'm saying is when I'm looking at the side and how it's set up and how the game unfolded in particular against Germany, and I mean, it's no surprise when you're looking at it on paper, you go, we know where Ronaldo's at in his time in career. You're carrying this guy up until the point that the ball's in the final third, then he's going to give you something. But a player like Fernandes, when you're playing a high octane, sort of high energy side like a Germany, you're going to press you, you're going to do everything. Now, all of a sudden, Portugal find themselves in a position where they're carrying 2 players instead of 1. And that's the question I've got here is Bruno Fernandes starting with Ronaldo the best thing for Portugal?
I hadn't thought about Fernandes as much. I did think that when I was watching the game, I thought Bernardo Silva looked a bit out of place. He seemed... Because he also tends to kind of play a fairly roaming role when he plays for City, And I also find that he's a bit stifled in the Portuguese side because that's Ronaldo's job. Ronaldo's going to be the one moving around, looking for the opportunities. I found his game was a bit off. And it might be something that's potentially true of quite a large part of the Portuguese attack. And when you've got someone like Ronaldo in the side, how do you account for that for players like Fernandes, like Bernardo Silva? Where should they be sitting? And which one of them? Because if you think about it, the 3 of those you would not expect in their clubs to be running back and doing defensive duties. So the ongoing Samido debate.
You see that? You see that?
I did.
But all I can say again is when I'm looking at how they set up, and Bernardo's a good point. Like, you're right. He did struggle. They took him off at halftime. But again, if I'm looking at it, I'm going, on paper, Ronaldo gets the goal, which is fantastic. But having Fernandes in that squad, if you're playing Silva behind him, you've got more energy to press. You've got Jota, another high-energy player. You've got youngsters on. The changes came in very slow, came in very late. But one thing for me, Sanchez, guys. Did any of you see Sanchez play?
Yeah,
Nick, you were watching the game. Germany's He should start the next game.
Yeah, he's so direct.
Sorry. I was just admiring Germany, to be honest with you. I watched bits and pieces of it. And I saw the 4th go in. I was like, no, man, come on. No, surely not. So no, sorry, I wasn't admiring your play.
So you didn't see him hit the upright. You didn't see that bullet that he hit that would have changed the complexion. At that time, I think it was still like 78 minutes. Had that goal gone in, it would have been 4-3. And we would have had a different final.
No, I did see that. But
I mean, that was
I can picture you talking about that goal even when Portugal is knocked out of this group stage, my man.
Yeah. it just makes my heart.
Complexion of the whole tournament.
I just gotta say, it just makes my heart so happy that the guy who went from having a great tournament a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was
big money move to Bayern. There were Liverpool, a couple other sides after him, and it just completely tanked. And then landed up where? Swansea. And then he won the league with France and Lille. So he's won the league in France. He's still only 23 years old. And when I see him play, I'm going, great. You've got, again, 2 holding midfielders in Danilo and Carvalho, of which I think Danilo is the starter any day. So why start the 2 when they're the same player? I just think Danilo is more mobile. Then you got Sanchez coming in there. Like you said, Matt, direct. He gives you something. When Portugal right now, we don't have natural width. We touched on that fact. Then if we're going to go through the middle, give the ball to someone who's going to drive through the middle, and that's a Sanchez. And that's my bit in Portugal. You guys can talk about anything else. I'm going to listen to you guys.
I think the best performance from a Portuguese perspective this weekend was the Barreira household. I think you all showed up. You all looked ready for the game, and unfortunately, you didn't have much to shout about. Except
we had a lot to shout about.
Oh wow!
We weren't celebrating. We were shouting. Jeez, man! I was standing. You can ask the admin over here. I was standing up watching that game. Hey, man, it was interesting. But like I said, I was very calm about it. I wasn't happy, but I was a lot calmer considering the facts of how these tournaments go. You know, you don't have to be the best team to win it. You just have to win it. So, about that, guys.
Shout out to winning it last time around, sir. That's a comment. That's literally because you won it last time around.
So what I found interesting, Claudia, is you said Scotland will go through. Speak us through your thinking with regards to that.
Show us the numbers.
Yeah, show us your fingers.
The numbers. Okay.
Show us the fingers, champ.
I'll do that. No, I think Croatia. They've got the know-how, they do, but I think the legs are tired there. It's an aging squad. They're reliant on a Modric, and I think based on what I saw in the England, I nearly said France game, but the England-Scotland game. Obviously, Gilmore, your Chelsea boy, there's going to be a big loss for Scotland. But the Scotland wanted, man. Robertson, what a player! There are a couple of leaders in that side.
What a player!
Liverpool. But what I mean by that,
they were other good players, bro.
No, but hang on. Yeah, I was getting to him before you interrupted me on the Liverpool game. What I'm getting at is that the players that they have, and what I like about it, Mosa talks about Wales. I think Wales have more natural talent, but when I'm looking at pure fighters, the guys wearing the kilts or the guys celebrating as in the tube without their jocks. The Scottish, they've got real fighters in that Scottish side. So I don't see them losing against Croatia tonight. I just can't see it. And I actually think it's going to be tough for Croatia to get to anything.
It's also at Hampden. It's a home game for Scotland. I think they're going to be they're all out in their kilts again.
They're going to be up for it.
I think it's a big one. And if you look at their
squad, got your kilt on?
Oh no, not now. But I'll put it on before the game, mate. And I'll send you a picture.
All right, wear a Scottish kilt there. Come on there, Nick.
Come on there, Nick.
Also, can I just say, Algin, I just think Scotland have found McTominay's best position. You guys have been having issues with centre-backs. Just play the lad there. Then you won't have the McFred problem. Yeah. You won't have it. Just play him centre-back. He's doing all right there for Scotland, in my opinion.
I don't know.
It's only because Gilmore's so good, man.
But did you see so there were three, so they had played with three. McTominay was probably the third best, but the two, I couldn't pick a winner in terms of man of the match. I thought they were man of the match combined. Tierney and Grant Hanley, I thought they were unbelievable. They were like literally a brick wall. McTominay was obviously great, for his age and controlling the play. But you talk about fighters, that's exactly what they've got. They got the bald guy up top, Lyndon Dykes, born in Australia, came to Scotland because his family's from there. Got a contract at QPR. You've got a right wing back who plays for Motherwell, which is my local team in Scotland. Now, these guys don't earn a lot of money. They really have to fight to get into a national team. And the fact that they're at a big tournament, like Matt says, they will be up for it. This is, if they can get to a top 16, a round of 16, after 23 years of not playing international football in a tournament.
You get a kilt. Everybody gets a kilt.
Yeah. 100%. And
it's so impressive, right?
Who knows?
Maybe
they're the dark horse. Maybe
they were so impressive to see that fight and that aggression that they had on the day, because they were facing an English squad that they have that natural rivalry already, but England didn't come to it in that same fashion. It seemed like they were going at it as if it's another match. Yes, it might be serious to a lot of other
do you not think players. They thought it was a foregone conclusion that the game was an easy one and they were going to win it? And I think I was going to ask Matt this, but do you agree? I think they just rocked up England and thought that it was going to be easy.
Yeah, it looked that way from what I was seeing, and they should have noticed like 5 minutes in that the Scottish team is serious.
Yeah.
It means serious business. The boys are already looking. The intensity was looking high. The touching was looking clean. They were just really, really good on the day. And I can't believe you never mentioned Gilmore there and some of the best players on the day, because
No,
for
he
me,
was. I just
he
thought
was
if it
impressive.
wasn't for their backline, England do have the quality, and why England didn't create so many chances was because that back three or back five, whatever you want to call it, stood firm, and they didn't take risks. But at the same time, what was quite interesting, and it will be interesting to see again tonight. I've watched both of their games. They don't play your conventional British style of football, just pumping the ball forward, even though they have inferior players. They look to play. Maybe without Gilmore there, it might be a bit more of a struggle, but they look to play. They look to get on the ball. They circulate the ball quite well. They did have less possession than England, but when they played against Czech Republic, like I said to you guys on the show last week, they didn't deserve to lose that game. They lost because Czech Republic took their chances and Scotland didn't. The only worry I have for Scotland is they haven't scored a goal yet. So they're going to need to score tonight if they want to go through. They're creating chances. They're doing well, getting into the final third, hits in the post in both games. So it will be interesting. If they can get a goal, I think they can go through. And it will be great. I think it will just be great for the nation in general.
Adams was scoring for Southampton. It just hasn't happened for him yet in the tournament.
Yeah, well, he's only just joined Scotland. He's only just joined. He's got like a grandfather. He doesn't look very Scottish, to be fair. So yeah,
you mean he wasn't playing football in a kilt? I get what you mean. Okay,
he wasn't,
all right. Yeah. Okay, guys, we've got 9 minutes left of the show. I've got something to end off with, a bit of a teaser. But before we get to that teaser, we've got a couple of games left. Let's give our predictions for the games. Some happening tonight, some happening tomorrow, and of course, moving into the round 16. First game, Croatia, Scotland. Thoughts, Nick, Mossa, Matt. Let's hear it. Come on, and 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to go the 2-1 win for Scotland.
After just saying they can't score goals. Interesting.
They can't score.
Mossa.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-0 victory for Croatia.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
You don't want to see me in a kilt, bro.
Sorry.
You want me to burn that kilt.
Was that one of the conditions? Damn. Okay. 2-0 Scotland. For the kilt.
I think it's going to be a really tightly contested draw. I reckon it's going to be 1-1 or 2-2. I think it's going to be. I think Scotland are going to. I don't think they're going to embarrass themselves in the same, good account of themselves that they've done so far in the tournament. But I think it's going to be 2-2. They're not going to quite get it over the line.
And both teams go out then.
Then they're both out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
like
no
suicide
more.
pact.
Going to be enough.
Dramatic, sort of. Just
it's a suicide. Oh man.
Okay, all right, cool. Next one. The next one's an interesting one, and I think this is going to be a bit of a dull affair, but let me not sway you guys. Czech Republic versus England. Nick, let's hear it.
I actually think England are going to do the job. Unfortunately, they're going to end up playing one of the stronger teams. I think they'll end up winning 2-1. 2-1 England. I hope it's a draw, actually. But
I'd like for it to go home, and I mean England to go home. So let's see Czech Republic create an upset on the day and hoy them with a nice 1-0 there. No goals from England, 0 goals from England.
Sure.
And say it's coming home.
Well, they're through either way, so
Yeah.
They're through already. But it's fine. Let's just a little bit of upset then.
But I reckon England will win it. I think it's going to be 2-1 or 1-0. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think they'll just get it over the line, which in a way could be worse, because I think what would be the best thing is if they could win like a 4-0 thrashing. Everybody performs well. Kane finds goals, but I reckon it's going to be 1-0. I think the goals are going to come from midfield or a defender on a set piece or something.
Harry Maguire with Harry Maguire with the winner.
It's coming home, boy.
Yeah, see, I should have that level of confidence.
The whole
6-0. Just too jaded.
Guys, can I just ask you something though? You know those the hats? I mean, we call them the Vodacom hats, because remember when we were playing soccer more, so they used to hand those Nokia hats out. Now the Rick and Perry hats that the English guys all wear as soon as the Euros come out.
What, like the bucket hats?
The bucket hats. I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
was it not that Rick and Perry move that kicked that off, or was that a movement before?
Rick and Perry.
You guys don't remember that? That's where that
No.
song. It's
Kevin
coming
and Perry,
home.
isn't it?
Kevin, sorry, I don't even know. English
Mosa looks
names.
very
guys.
confused. I thought Mosa was going to come
so
back
the-
there with his
yeah.
thoughts.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't do it. I tried.
I couldn't do it.
But it doesn't sound like you are sure about where it even came from, actually, Claude. Is it Rick and Perry, Kevin and Perry?
I told you with English names, I confuse these things, man. I tell you, they all sound the same to me. I don't know. But anyway, okay, all right. So next game we're going to look at. And is this a good one? Is this an interesting one? For me, I didn't really care too much about. Oh, I should care about it. I think is Sweden my side? Sweden versus Poland. Let's hear it.
Oof. I think the
Very hard
Swedes are
to
going to be. Is going to be. This is what's very interesting here is Lewandowski has not showed up this tournament
at all,
and Sweden can properly put the nail in the coffin here and get a. I think even a draw is enough for them. So I think Sweden will probably. I don't see them winning it. I think a 1-1 draw here.
All Arjun's goals are after the 90th minute. Must we just tune in at 85 minutes, Arjun? We take a break. I'll go get a meal or something, and then I'll come in right at the end.
No, we'll get some of Armand's noodles, his famous noodles, and then he'll come in.
That decent.
Man's leaving it to the death. I think Poland should get a result. Hopefully Lewandowski can give us something. So yeah, 1-0 from him.
What does that do for Poland?
Nada.
Puts him in a position, I think.
Key nothing.
They get 4 points. That group is very tight. 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. That group is very tight.
It's gonna be. It's all up to what Spain do, really. Because if they just go down with a whimper, then
you could have 3 teams finishing on 4 and Spain finishing on 3. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Unless you lend them Fernandes, as per your earlier idea, Claudio,
or Ronaldo.
maybe that'll help them. Yeah, or Ronaldo if you decide to keep Fernandes.
I don't know. I
It's
just thought it was
too much to have both of them.
Yeah, you got
Too much.
Do that again.
You gotta give one away.
Claudio, you're right about Musa getting his hands inside this show today. He really wants to.
Did somebody compliment your hands today? Someone was like, "Oh, you've got such nice hands." He's like, "I'm going to bring these babies in the show."
Yeah,
man. You see what I did there?
Get me from my good side.
Oh, wow.
All right. Okay. Slovakia, Spain. I told you guys, my opinion, Spain have absolutely zero chance here. And I know it is Spain, and I know it is Spain. But they're passing sideways. Morata front. I got zero faith in Morata. I still can't believe the man's a professional footballer. So, in my opinion, 1-0 Slovakia. Nick, let's hear it.
Martin Dubravka has to be. He's going to save a penalty. They're going to end up winning 1-0.
Shout out to that.
And he's going to save it. He's going to save
score the winner in the
Morata's
96th minute.
You and I should just watch these games together. Last 10 minutes. Switch on.
Oh, wow.
That's so powerful.
I love that.
I can't believe Spain is going to bow out in this fashion, actually, man. How? Like, do we blame COVID or what do we blame?
Nah.
It's just the timing. We just blame life for Spain. Spain have a lot going on. I mean, the president of Barcelona doesn't know what he's doing. If Barcelona aren't being run correctly, I mean, that's the country in itself. So if they're not being running properly, then you've got Madrid as well, the president. They're focusing on building a new stadium. I think the actual clubs in Spain have taken their eye off the ball, and that's kind of let the national team down. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it's let it down quite severely. Yeah.
It's been a couple of shows since you've had a conspiracy, Claudio. Welcome back.
There we go.
Day in the life of being a Liverpool fan and a Portuguese fan.
Yeah.
Chronicles.
It's not just bad form. It's not bad choices by the coach. It's a nationwide scandal of poor management.
Illuminati. It's the Illuminati.
You better know after this last round of games, there's going to be a VAR conspiracy against Portugal and Portugal only.
But you know what? It's actually been quiet. There haven't been many VAR incidents.
It's been brilliant though. They're very quick.
Very
They're
well
in,
done.
they're out. They don't look at that line and draw it 5 million times and draw it skew and make it straight. And yeah, at least it's okay.
Wait, so Matt, did you give your prediction there?
For what? I've
Slovakia.
forgotten what team we're talking about. Slovakia,
Spain.
I reckon. I think Spain are going to win it just to make things boring. I think they'll end up winning 2-0. One of them's going to go in off the back of Morata's head or something. Like he's not even going to know about it, but he'll claim it, and then they're going to get through, and it's all going to be a bit boring.
But you know, Morata's that type of player with a goal like that being scored and him celebrating like he's just won the World Cup. Like it's the most important. That's the type of player he is. He's a bit of a He's got an
as the rest of the team packs their bags.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're gonna look at the Portugal-France game, and I'm very obviously quite interested to hear the thoughts behind this one.
Was that
you didn't talk about Dembele getting injured 4.5 months, eh?
I mean, is this a surprise? The man's made from glass.
Yeah, I'm not even really that interested in that whole dynamic as well.
Plastic player.
Is it plastic?
No, if he was plastic, the oak would be bouncing back, bro. I don't know. He's glass.
So what is he? Glass.
He's glass. Man, when is he? How many consecutive games has he played in his career? Like that, I feel like someone needs to look up that stat and be like, Barcelona definitely shot themselves in the foot when they spent. How much was it? 140 mil, 120 million pounds on the guy. Anyway, they charged him. Or should I say Dortmund charged them, and now they're still living la vida loca.
I'm loving Edmund right now. Shout out to Edmund.
Show us your hands. Show us your hands again.
Let's celebrate like this. Shout out to Edmund. Edmund is thinking the right thing. France will definitely take this one. I think they have to bounce back, and they've got it in their minds that they have had their eye off the ball with that Hungary game. They did miss a lot of opportunities in that game, and they won't make the same mistake happen twice against that Portugal team. They're going to show them flames.
You're just saying, you got two hot players there in Fernandes and Ronaldo. Now it's a Pap team. But you got two. You can't be. Listen, if you've got two hot players, you've got Boerewors and Pap. It can't just be Pap. It's a Boerewors and Hilde.
This is a very bold claim coming from a team that whimpered to a 1-1 draw with Hungary in your last game. Like, remember when you're pointing a finger, there's a few fingers pointing back at you, Moss.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, Matt supports Portugal too. So this is a 2v1 conversation here. So just be careful.
I see what you guys are doing here, ganging up on me. That's why I'm glad Edmund is on my side. Edmund understands what's cooking here.
It's not Borscht and Pap, that's for sure, boy.
Where's the game?
Danilo and Carvalho's Pap.
I'll tell you now. The game is in Budapest.
Oh, so then Germany are hosting Hungary, obviously.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to have a full stadium.
Yep.
Something to contend with. France, I don't think have played in a full stadium yet. Oh no, they did.
Yeah, well, they played in Hungary.
They played in Budapest. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So they'll use that to, spur them on. It didn't work for them last time, but they'll use it to spur them on.
Did you guys see that news actually mentioning where they're hosting it? Germany are hosting at the Allianz Arena. They requested to have the stadium lit up in the Pride colours.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and UEFA denied it. They said
I was about to say,
political.
Wait for
they said it's too political because Hungary's not particularly friendly towards the LGBTQ community, so they said no, they're not allowed to do it. It's too political.
But they did it anyway.
And that in itself is a political statement, right? Like denying them the right to do it is surely more political than them doing it. So there's been a lot of.
But I saw a picture of it. I think they did it anyway, didn't they?
Or I think they've done it in the past. They haven't done it. They haven't. That game's only happening.
Okay. So they only wanted to do it for that game. Okay.
Hey, Dia should chill. Just because he's dreamy now, 5-0. Imagine this.
Show her your hands again, Mossa. Sway her the other way.
0-0. He's going to end up crying. It's not going to be cool seeing Ronaldo cry that day, but you're going to have to see him cry.
I just want to say,
He's cried
Dia's
before.
sort of Dia's analysis of the game, Dia's way in which she's come about her scoreline prediction. It reminds me of when I went to go place bets on horses. And I went to go do the thing, and I was just looking at the horses and like, yes, that's a good looking horse. I'm gonna put my money on that horse, and that horse ended up winning. So if that's anything to go by, let's go with Portugal for the win there. I'm backing Dia's claim here.
But are all 5 goals going to be after the 90th minute? Has Arjun weighed in yet?
Where's Arjun? Yeah. Did you hear the lads' comments?
I think for me 2-2. I think there's going to be goals. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think Portugal would have learned from their sort of mistakes from Germany, and I think a draw takes both teams through. So I don't think they'll be overly upset with the draw, and maybe there's a chance for both teams to, I don't know, you might see a few changes here, rest a few players. Both teams are going to go through, like I think regardless of the result. But obviously they can't take it too lightly, because the next thing Hungary go and pull something out the hat there against Germany, and then throws the group into a little
Portugal
bit
do have to be a little bit careful.
They have to be very careful. They've only got 3
because
points.
they're only on 3 points now. So if
they
lose,
can't concede
then
too many.
They have to watch goal difference. So I think
Yeah.
I don't think Portugal are going to make too many changes. I think they're going to, and that will mean France won't either, because France will know Portugal is going to take it seriously. So I think you could end up seeing this be a really tense game.
Could be, yeah.
It's going to be, which is going to make it that much more impressive when Portugal win it.
I can't believe you just ended it like that.
So we have one France fan, or France victory, 1 draw, and I'm assuming 2. Oh, no, but you said France are going to beat.
I said 2-1 victory to France. I did say that.
How does that make you feel, Matt?
Predictions.
I think Portugal could win this. To be honest, I think that France is not infallible, and I think Portugal's got the talent to take the chances. They've probably spent the last couple of days really working the defense, which I think is going to make a big difference. The communication will hopefully be a lot better. I think they could pull it off. I think it could be 2-1.
Yeah, so I definitely think there's going to be a difference of 1 goal. That's whoever's going to take it. It's not going to be a 4-2 sort of onslaught that we saw on the weekend, but. Yeah, on that point though, that's quite accurate. So if Portugal do set up a tight shop, then if Portugal close shop, you can't buy the groceries, so it's a bit tough there. So they're going to keep a 0-0 and trying to wait for that one goal. And like I said, I always say this: in Ronaldo, you've got a goal. But another thing to point out, we've got Ronaldo currently on 12 goals, all-time leading goal scorer of the Euro Championships after playing officially 22 games. But we've got Griezmann, who has snuck in joint second on that list. And I know it's an interesting one, because you've got Michel Platini, 7 goals from 9 games. Oh no, I'm lying there. 7 goals from 5 games. You've got Alan Shearer, 7 from 9, and now Griezmann's also snuck onto that list. So it's going to be interesting that the band's only 7 goals in 9 games. It's going to be hot there. So they both have a lot of goals.
It's crazy that
he's got current man.
Yeah, and he's managing Newcastle, signing Mbappe, and still scoring those goals at the Euro. It's like, for me, that's incredible. He's like a player coach.
But it makes you wonder, though, why isn't Steve Bruce playing in this tournament as well? Like, why isn't Bruce on the field?
Oh, wow.
All right, guys. So we're gonna just round up with the Germany versus Hungary game. So overall, what do you think is gonna happen here, Nick?
Ooh. I think Germany are going to run riot. I think also the fact that it's in Germany is going to make the difference. I think, as Matt said earlier, I think Hungary's had their day in the sun. They've had a good tournament. They can't not be proud of what they've done. They can't not be proud.
They could be proud.
They could be proud.
Proud. I mean, that's another way of saying it.
They can be proud of what they've done. I think they've hosted some of their games have been incredible to watch, just because there's actually fans there. But yeah, Germany, I like the way they're playing. They're very fluid. They move the ball nicely, and I think they 90-second minutes. All
the goalkeepers are scoring 97 minutes there.
But yeah, Germany, I think 2-0 win, conventional for them.
Yeah, I think Hungary have probably been celebrating ever since they won drew that game with France. So they'll probably be on a bit of a hangover coming into this game. Germany seem to be getting things in alignment in their squad, getting things to tick well. So they're probably going to look at this game to confirm a lot of the things that they've been working on at training and trying to get their synergies in the right place so that they can qualify. I think they probably had a very difficult task after their first opening game to recoup their mindsets and actually then prepare for the next game. And Arjun is wishful thinking there from Arjun, but yeah, I think Germany will just be really just too good on the day for them. So 3-0 from Germany from my side.
Yeah, I reckon a 3-0 win to Germany. I think, and I think it's going to happen before the 90th minute. I think we're going to have to make sure that we contact our team to get them to watch these games when the goals start going in pre-extra time. But yeah, I reckon Germany's going to win it. I think that's why the pressure is going to be on in the France-Portugal game, because France are going to want to top the group, and yeah. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting, really good. Those two fixtures together are going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think on that note, guys, it's not
What's
coming
your
home.
prediction, bro?
3-1
It's
to
not
Germany.
coming home.
Yeah.
It's the world.
Germany have a great chance of doing well this tournament and going very close to winning it.
We've said that about too many teams though. Now we've got more than 4 semi-finalists just on this show.
But it's the Sniffers' last tournament. It's the Sniffers' last tournament. With Germany,
and he's been caught already, eh? Have you seen? He's already been caught with his hands in his pants.
He's joking.
The mega puts it under the armpits there. He smells his fingers. What's wrong with that guy?
Digs in the nose, has a look at it. Yeah,
even in COVID.
Nothing stops the man. He's been building his immune system for all these years. He's been COVID prepared, my man.
And he's been doing it live on TV.
Yeah. Maybe this is what works, man. We don't know what goes into international coaching. Maybe there's something to it, there's sort of and then he knows I'm gonna bring on Tony Kroos now.
So essentially, I think I figured out.
Tony,
yeah,
get over here, Tony.
I figued out what Steve Bruce is missing. Then he just
exactly. Steve Bruce
his fingers all over his. Looks up fingers. Oh wow!
All right, guys. Good question before we go. Arjun asking, where do you think Lowe is going next?
Oof.
Somewhere in Germany.
Very difficult.
Taking a break. I think the bigger question is who replaces him. Oh wait, we know who replaces him. Hans Flick.
It's Hans Flick.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not a big question at all. On that note, we do have a big question. Sorry, Matt, get excited.
Maybe Spurs will sign him.
So they don't sign managers, remember? They'll flirt with him. They'll discuss something. It'll break down because he'll go to shake Levy's hand, and Levy will be like, no, thank you.
Speaking Italian a little bit.
It was fun, but no thanks.
Yeah. COVID. We can't shake elbows.
All right, guys.
Big question, Claudia.
On that note, I kind of forgot what I was saying. We have something coming through that we're going to be doing on the weekend. Obviously, we're going to have another show on Thursday, but we got a special collaboration with someone or something called Epic Games, and we're going to leave it at that. And then you guys are going to see what's coming. So keep your eyes peeled. Follow us on the social streets. Morsa loves never getting loud there. From time to time, he'll squeak. We know Matt loves trying to flirt with who are the guys the beers that you drink? Which ones do you do again? Darling Brew.
Darling Brew.
Yeah, Darling Brew.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, Darling Brew. I mean, they really need to come through. They need to come through.
Yeah.
For Matt from Darling Brew. And then we've got Nick also. He talks from time to time. So look out there. We're going to be chatting about the things that are coming.
He breathes as well. It says you talk from time to time.
I talk from time to time.
Imagine.
I'm here. I smile from time to time. And Potter uses his hands from time to time.
You got to remember, it's the thing.
That could be your new handle. Hand model and mathematician.
All in one.
Guys, Arjun, when people ask you for advice when you're doing your physics and all the other stuff that you guys do, just hit them with one of these and be like, this should help you. If you know, if you
There's
just
the
do this
answer,
with
man.
figures, yeah, this is the answer to life.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. Let's
Easy.
not get these kids thrown out of their schools, guys. Come on. They've got their whole futures ahead of them.
Oh wow.
Oh my
what's
goodness.
a bee selling hand for premium on OnlyFans?
Stop it.
Wouldn't it be called Only Hands then?
Only hands. Oh, goodness.
All right, guys, final
man.
thoughts before we end.
Come on, Scotland.
Portugal must go watch out. They must watch out.
They must go watch out. They must go watch out.
Anytime.
Okay, then if you don't know, remember, if you don't know what to be,
Be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool.
just like everywhere